Hello fellow YouTubers, Trouble8385 here, YouTube Gaming Community number 46. First things first, something I forgot to mention last video, Shoutouts83 wanted me to tell people that new net live stream comes back on January 8th. So if you're interested or want to find out more about that, go to New Net HQ. And now let's get into the subject from last time. We're going to revisit in a different perspective the Pete Dorr Happy Council Gamer and Games31 situation. I'm not going to read a single comment from my last video. If anybody wants to check out what people thought about that whole thing, check out the comments in that video, because we're not going to perpetuate this situation. We're going to bring common sense to this argument. Something a lot of people seem to not be doing. Okay? Listen, in my view, this is my honest freaking opinion, okay? When anybody at all, anybody, no matter who they are on YouTube, when someone always gives their opinion about somebody's channel or rips the channel apart, how come nobody asks a simple question? If you're so passionate to make that video, how come you never try to personal message that person or Skype that person with your thoughts? Wouldn't that have been a constructive way to do it? Because here's my view: is when you want to rip somebody, let's take the big channels. Let's take Pete Dorr, Games31, Happy Council Gamer. Okay, let's be honest here. On a right sheet of paper, why don't you list down all the things you think their channels do, that you want their channels to do right, they don't do. Okay? On the left side of that same sheet of paper, why don't you list the things you think they should do right, that you do right, of that list. And if your right hand side doesn't match the left hand side, then simply shut up about the subject. Because then you become a hypocrite. Yesterday I sent an invite on Skype to both Happy Council Gamer and Games31. Actually, day before that, 2 days ago. And yesterday, around midnight, I was talking to Amy Bro like I do once a week for a couple hours. And I got a call from Happy Council Gamer, asking my opinion about the whole thing going on in the community right now and everything. And we talked, how they were all kind of blindsided by it, kind of came out of nowhere. And for all the rip you will give them, and that's people do, the truth of the matter is, how do they affect your channel? Right? Truthfully, let's be honest here. They don't affect how you interact with other channels in your community. They don't affect your YouTube experience at all if you don't want them to. The simple truth is, any channel on YouTube, you either have a choice to subscribe or unsubscribe. Watch the videos or not watch your videos. Instead of complaining about somebody, how about you shout out to people you think deserve to be paid attention to? Because if you don't like this person, by making a video about them, all you're doing is drawing attention to their channel, right? I always laugh that someone who has 1,000 subscribers somehow knows what it's like to be a channel that's 15 or 20,000 subscribers. That's like someone walking up to me who's never lost a child saying, "I know how you feel." No, you don't. You don't know how that experience is like because you've never had it. I mean, just my last week, in the last 3 days since I made my last video, I gained over 20 subscribers. I had 25 personal messages. I had a buttload of comments. And I couldn't keep up with all that with life. Imagine that times 10. When you get 100 comments a day, where when you answer 50, when you answer 50 personal messages, you have 50 more. YouTube is YouTube. It's not us tube. It's not everybody tube. It's your channel. There is no rules on how you can run your channel. The truth of the matter is, if there are rules on how I'm supposed to talk about or do what I do, then it's time for me to shut the camera off and get off YouTube. When I was talking to Happy Council Gamer, he made a perfect point that YouTube is no longer necessarily a community. I mean, there are certain, he said, groups like my video and other people, that community comes together. But in general, YouTube is thousands of channels in their own little groups. And that is really honestly the truth. I kind of always laughed at the argument that people say that, okay, well, Happy Council Gamer is just shouting out his friends in his checkout channel list. Well, isn't that what everybody else does on YouTube? If you look at Pete Dorr's, just look at his checkout channels, for example. He has Margarita 553 on there. And he has charge back forward. Both channels who have under 200 subscribers on there. I mean, listen, everybody acting like this is some kind of life or death struggle, and it's not. It's simply, do you want to watch their channel or not? Do you even want anything to do with them or not? You don't have to ever see their channel, ever talk to them if you don't want to. When you make one video, you voice your opinion, that's fine. You voice your opinion, you move on. If you make more than one video about one person, then you become a whiner. And whiners never accomplish anything. You know, when you watch people whine in your videos, people are like, yeah, you're right. And then that's it, they're done with it. You want to be constructive? Why don't you make your channel the way you think there should be? Lead by an example. Wouldn't that be the best way to handle this, honestly? I mean, I'm getting sick of seeing the comments of people in these other videos out there just tearing into each other. You're a fanboy. You're a hater. These are comments people use when someone says something that destroys their argument, because people aren't objective, by the way, when they have an opinion. That they will find a way to cover around the argument just to keep their argument going. See, I believe in what I say. I'm not going to back down what I say. If people have a problem with what I say, that's fine. Like Pete Doors Games, if people had a problem with me saying that, if you think I was talking about you, then fine. I don't care. You can get mad. It doesn't bother me. I've talked about what I believe in. You know, we decide what we do on our channels. Just like we decide what we do in life. Nobody else is responsible for our channel but ourselves, okay? Yes, there are certain rules you should never cross. Generally, you should never, ever expect anything of anybody else that you aren't willing to do yourself. So when you expect something from somebody else, if you're not going to do that, then why should they have to? The whole point of this community, and by the way, the other part I didn't get to was about an hour and 15 minutes into that conversation. Games31 happened to call me on Skype and we had a group conversation about this. The whole point we agreed on is that it's about making videos because people are something we're passionate about. It's supposed to be fun. Why can't we get back to that? Why can't you concentrate on your channel and what you do? Who cares what they do? Should people expect to shout out people that they don't believe in or want people to check out? What right do you have to tell people they should? People in this community act like they can. These certain people in this community seem to act like they can set the rules and they can't. If one group of people, individuals, set the rules on the gaming community, then it's time to shut our cameras off and go home. It's one of the most funniest things I had about this whole thing is that it's, when you think about it, the whole thing is just silly. It's just people making videos because they love sport, and yet people take this thing so seriously. I shut my camera off, I go back to my life. I don't think about this for 1 second when I'm not on YouTube. Why should anybody else? People act like what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have no life outside of YouTube. That you're supposed to sit in front of YouTube all day and answer every comment, and you need to shout out every channel out there, and you need to do all this stuff that you need to do. No matter how big or small your channel is, we all have lives. You either have a family, you might have school, you might have work. This partnership debate is stupid to me because you don't make much off a partnership. You have to get millions of views to make partnership. And if anybody brings up that website, was it MyU2B? Yesterday it said that I wouldn't be making 63 cents a day, and that I was going to get 590 views a day, which I've never had 590 views on any video on any day. And today it says I'm like no views on a daily basis. People, it's not accurate, okay? Quit trying to apply things that aren't true. It's like the same way it's none of their business to tell you how much they make off partnership. But they don't make a lot, because if they did, YouTube would go broke. Just like, let's bring up one more example before we're done here. Angry Video Game Nerd, right? Let's bring him up for example. Nobody in the community rips him, but he doesn't comment anybody's videos, does not interact in the community at all, but yet he gets a pass because he makes a character. That's what the game community, correct? He's just a character, so he gets a pass. But he's much bigger. Like to put, they are not big channels in the scope of YouTube or even in the game community. There are small channels. The truth is, most of us started watching one of the 3 channels when they started on YouTube, and in most cases, one of those 3 channels probably inspires us to make videos. It's just, you know, focus on your friends, focus on your channel and your content. If you want to be them, then work on it. Put the work in, and you could be big as them. I mean, the truth is, Happy Comes a Gamer, when we were talking, it's like, you know, when they started, there wasn't many channels right on YouTube that it was easy to take out. Today, it's so hard that he goes, the truth, people, instead of people crying about things, the truth is they should focus on making unique content that nobody else has in the community if they want to stand out. Isn't that what we all should do? Like, if you really want to stand out, you need to make it. He goes, he truthfully said, I wouldn't want to be making a channel today because it's so hard to stand out compared to everybody else today. But he says he doesn't want to do shoutouts because when he did his 10,000 subscriber special, as y'all remember, don't want to YouTube and other people, that he got hundreds of messages saying, why didn't you shout my channel out? Blah, blah, blah. You can't win. You really can't win. And no matter how big your channel is, if you respond every time someone says something bad about you or doesn't or any video about you, that's all you'll ever do. You'll never make your videos or what you like to make. There's no sense of perfection. No one's going to do it right. We're all human. We're basically all flawed, right? We all have flaws. You do not know a person by a 15 frickin' minute video. You see a small glimpse of them. So anyway, enough about that subject. I'm done talking about it. So, first of all, let's get into videos to check out. And the first one I have, female, is Narox's For the Wind Shoutouts grid on the PC. And this is like Narox's usual interesting way of shouting people out in the community. Next up is Atarileaf's Berzerk MMX with voice, the Commodore Vic-20 Homebrew. He showed this Berzerk game before, but this one, the guy actually updated it. Now it has voices in it, so if you're interested, check that out. Next up is Chipsturs, Me and My Top Video Game Moments of 2010 Part 1. First of all, what always amazes me to this day, the fact that he said I was one of the channels, memorable channels he watched this year, which blew me away. I'm still always amazed who people who I watch would ever even check out my channel. Because I don't take myself seriously. I don't ever want to be that person who thinks I deserve the subscribers, I deserve the views. Chipsters is one of the great guys in the community. Next up, RinryGameGame. Board games inspired by video games. And 2 board games in this video are Super Mario Brothers and Legend of Zelda. If you've never seen that, check that video out. Next is Creed Boy 411, his New Year's shoutouts. Shouts out people in the community. And now we're going to get to channels to check out. The first channel I want you to check out is Clone Trooper Game. He has 24 subs, he does gameplay, and most of his videos are online battles versus other people. He actually puts the people's channel's names that he battles. Next one is Charge Back Forward. He has 194 subs. They did a really cool 6-part tour of one of the guy's game rooms. It's a really awesome game room. He does pickups, he does box art comparisons of games. He also shows you the collector editions of games, and he did a shout-out video. Next one is 16-Bit Gaming. He has 13 subs. He does collection videos for different systems. He's only showed collection videos for different systems on his channel, but he was an old channel on YouTube that got hacked and deleted. I don't know what it was, but he says that in the front of his channel page. Next up is Rhodes Y71. He has 43 subs. He does gameplay, pickups, and systems and package. Next up is Ninja Bear Hug. He has 55 subs. He does collection, gameplay, and his channel focuses mainly on just Sega systems, games. And lastly is the Retro Road Show. It has 325 subs. It's kind of hard to describe this. First of all, again, I was talking to Games31 yesterday on Skype. He suggested to check out this channel. This guy has a very interesting show because he does show gameplay, but yet he has his own unique style. a guy who just loves games. You'd have to check it out. I really honestly don't know how to truly describe the channel, but you need to check it out. So guys, that's all for this video. So we're gonna get back to the fun stuff next video.